Okay, so today I want to show you something, and this is called the COILY, Coil Trimming and Measuring Tool. This was manufactured in the UK. This was sent in directly from the company for the purposes of this review. You can see their website, which is coilytool.co.uk. You got your their Facebook, Twitter, and email on there. And you can see I haven't even taken this off yet, but I have fooled around with it a little bit, and it's a really cool, useful tool for builders. So I'm going to take this little piece of advertisement off of there. Let me show you what this thing does. Let's turn it around the right way first of all. So you got your measurements here, and this is showing you the proper lengths. It'll help you to properly cut the lengths of the legs on your coils based on the diameter of the deck you're using, you know, or the size of the deck of the kind of coil you're going to need. I'm not explaining myself too well, but here is a deck from an iJoy RTA that I'm going to use to explain to you. So when you're going to cut your coils, and what you do is you measure the distance, because when you put coils in like this, you're going to put one coil in from one side, right? And then you can cut it, but then when you put the coil in from the other side, it's a little hard to cut because it's going to be crossing over the leads here. You can bend it to the side and then cut it. You can try and pre-cut these. But if you can cut both your coils at a perfect length before you even put them in, it does make things a lot easier for building, and especially for those people who are not as comfortable with building and dealing with coils. So let's say what you look at here is your different millimeter sizes of your deck, all right, or of your posts, I should say. And then the slot corresponding to it is going to help you to cut the coils at the right length. So for this deck, which is a velocity style deck, if we look at this, you can see here, kind of fits in the 4, all right? So that's a 4 millimeter post in there, all right? So what we'd want to do is cut our coils at maybe 4.5 or 5, depending how close you want it. On this deck, I don't want it very close, so I'm going to try 5. So if you take your coil and you just, well, you could do it from the bottom or the top. I'll do it this way just to make it easier for you to see. If you put your coil in the 5 millimeter slot, okay, just like that, then you take your cutters, which I have seemed to have forgotten, and here they are. So now you can cut this perfectly flat. Also, I've noticed the coils don't seem to jump away as much when you're cutting them like this. So we cut those. Now these leads are exactly 5 millimeters. Okay, my cutters need to get a little sharper. But now when you go to put this in, you're going to find that you're at the perfect depth with the coil. All right? So you don't have to worry about it sticking out the other side and touching the other coil. And you can cut both your coils and put them in there, and they'll be absolutely perfect. All right? It makes it a lot easier, like I said, for somebody that is not an everyday builder, or if you know you only have a couple of decks, couple of RTAs or RDAs, and you are going to cut the lengths of the coil that's pretty much the same all the time, you can pre-cut all your coils. Now, just to show you, here is a single coil RDA. It already has a coil in there, but what you would do in a case like this, if you want, is you can measure it, and then you'll know going forward what it is forever. So if you measure from the inside there to here, and I know that this is, let's say, 13.5 millimeters. So now if I have a 3.5 millimeter diameter coil, that leaves 10 millimeters for leads. So you would want 5 millimeters on each side. So if you had a coil that was wrapped to go into a single coil deck like that, such as that one, all you would have to do is insert it into the 5 millimeter and cut it. And let's go ahead and do this one. And we take the other side. Now we know that those leads now are both equal and both 5 millimeters. So when we went to go to apply that into that particular deck, let's put it on a holder here just to make it a little easier. That's going to absolutely be the perfect size for that deck, okay? Now again, that coil has to be broken apart a little bit, but that's going to fit perfectly in there. So it just makes it a lot easier to deal with your coils. You can measure the deck in this side, you can cut it in this side. Now this particular one, if you know anything about 3D printing, you can see is a 3D printed one. All right, and it's really nice quality. It was certainly done on a high quality 3D printer, but my understanding is now these are now being manufactured for them. You know, I'm not sure what the material is going to be, but they have them being manufactured on a mass production level. So instead of them printing them all out in 3D printers like this, you will be able to get these with a much higher rate of availability. So there you go. I think it's a really cool tool to have. The measurements are right. You know, I did put it in my meter here, and I did measure it a bunch of times, and I got, you know, 4.5, 5.5. Everything I measured, I did get right. 7.05. So the tolerances are good. The measurements are accurate. And it does a nice job. And like I said, these are the 3D printed ones, and they are sturdy. Comes in a little, you know, hand thing there. Just helps you so you don't lose it like I lose everything in my crowded little office here. And there you go. That's the COILY. Check out the website below, and you can find more information on those links that I'll put in the show notes. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time.